And I want to add this. Any person within the KK administration who chooses to remain until the end, or who chooses to leave earlier than the end, and the end can be earlier than that end you think of 2027, wewe usikuje kutumiwa kuleta mambo ya kugawanyichwa kati yetu. Come, join us so that we are one unit that is ready to remove Ruto. Usije kuanza kuleta mipango ingine mpya, kwa sababu you will have confirmed that you are actually an agent of William Ruto, na utakuwa ukimsaidia kutimiza yale akina Kamketi wanasema.
Ladies and gentlemen, in less than 48 hours after Fred Okengo Matiangi for the first time publicly confirmed to Kenyans that indeed he is going to think and to consider their call for him to run for presidency in 2027. The political class have already started to feel unease. There is already anxiety within the opposition, because ever since the name of Fred Matiangi started to appear largely in social media, associating him with the presidency in 2027, he had never uttered a word considering that call, despite the fact that the youths have been beckoning at him to come and help them ouster President William Samoei Ruto. He chose to remain silent. And this is what he said and what prompted him to speak about that.
Akasema ataya akodani tumesema hivi, we just need one presidential candidate. Now this country, by the way, if you remember what Dr. Matiangi did to this country, then you know what I am talking about. Already in this church we have a president. In this church. Amen. We have a president. In 2027 August 10th we have a president, and usiniache mbali sana daktari, hata mimi niko hapo karibu nitakupatia chama.
Na ninawashukuru nyinyi wote wananchi. Mwishowe you discover that we are all one people, and the challenges we face and whatever happens to us happens to all of us as one people. Shida zetu ama our challenges do not distinguish between which part of the country you come from, which tribe you belong to, where do you go to church, and so on and so forth. Ama namna gani? Basi tufuate vile tunaelezwa na viongozi wetu hapa wa kanisa, tupendane, tusidi kuombeana na kukaa pamoja. Mheshimiwa Jango, I have heard.
Now, that was former thick member of parliament, Jango, trying to incite Fred Matiangi to come and to vie for presidency in the next general election. And today, Jubilee Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni, speaking at Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka Foundation in Lavington, he said something which I want you also to listen to. Then I will do a comprehensive analysis into these two speeches. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Before I proceed, allow me to invite you and to implore you and to beg you. Whoever is coming across this channel or our videos for the first time, that please take a minute or a second to consider subscribing to MJR YouTube channel, because that is the only way we can grow this channel and to motivate MJR to continue updating you on the political development within Kenya and without. I want to take this opportunity to thank and to appreciate our subscribers for standing with MJR through and through. Because if it wasn't you, this channel would have not been where it is at the moment. But there is still a lot of work to be done for MJR to start enjoying the fruits of your support. We are still chasing on the watch time, but if we succeed and achieve that, we are going to monetize. Now, when I listen to Jubilee Secretary General speaking today and giving a warning to those who are still waiting to join the opposition movement, a movement which they think is the real deal to send Ruto home come 2027, that person is lost. And he also gave another warning that whoever is coming or is planning to come, do not think of starting another outfit or another formation in the name of opposing or running against President William Ruto, that this will tantamount to division of votes, or he will be perceived as an agent of President William Ruto, who is just being used to spoil or to divide the strength of the opposition. That could be true. But whom do you think he was sending this message to? This message was as well being sent to one Fred Okengo Matiangi, in my own observation. Because number one, on the two factors, why I want to entitle this video, Matiangi's factor in 2027 a general election. First, we all know that the name Okengo Matiangi started featuring majorly after the Gen Zs uprising. And when the Gen Zs came into being, and when Kenyans familiarized themselves with that phrase for the first time, it was not a good gesture. It was a threat to Ruto's administration. And when they failed to stage that civilian coup successfully, they said they are going to retreat and will come back next time. And because there is always next time, they say they will wait until 2027, and that day they will come under one leadership, and that person whom they prefer to lead them into this revolution is none other than Fred Okengo Matiangi. Now, Fred Matiangi is favored by the Gen Zs. And why is it a blessing for him to have such kind of offertory from the Gen Zs? It's because the Gen Zs is statistically looking into the future. They will form the lion's share of the votes or voters in 2027, because these Gen Zs are those who are born from 2000 or 1998, 2000 up to 2013, which most of them will be voters come 2027. And because these movement have also influenced some of the millennials, then it means Fred Okango Matiangi support base is going to spread back to the year 1980s coming to 2013, which is the simple majority voters. So this has already sent some shockwaves to the likes of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka and Jeremiah Kioni, who are the old folks, old political class, who the Gen Zs and millennial are feeling that they have failed to deliver their promises and to take them to Canaan, the land of milk and honey. Another thing which makes Fred Matiangi stands out as one of the candidates who are threat to Ruto's administration is Matiangi's track record. During his tenure in civil servant and serving under President Uhuru Kenyatta, Matiangi served well in 3 decades when he was called to serve his motherland. The first time he was attempted to steer the docket of information and communication technology. And all Kenyans know what he did in that docket. He was the one who spearheaded the transformation from the analog to digital. You remember that famous phrase, tumetoka digital, tumetoka analog, tunaenda digital. So it is Matiangi who helped Kenya to do away with these analog TVs. Number 2, he was then transferred into the docket of education, which he also did well. He changed the time frame of exam marking and the releasing of results of both KCPE and KCSE. Remember, these things used to take ages. And nowadays, during Matiangi, exam results could be released even before the end year or even at the eve of New Year festival. Then lastly, Matiangi also tried to finish or to eradicate exam cheating during his tenure as the minister or the CS for education. Matiangi also stand out. We'll remember as the interior CS and the coordination of internal affairs. He was trusted with obligation to be a de facto prime minister in Uhuru Kenyatta's regime after they had fallen out with William Ruto in his second term. And that also Matiangi did a commendable job according to majority of Kenyans. Ladies and gentlemen, all these put together offer Fred Matiangi a better chance to compete with William Samoei Ruto. But now the question is, does he have enough resources? Number 2, which tribe does Matiangi comes from? And number 3, does he have the technical know-how to compete on presidential race? And lastly, will the Gen Zs come out to take the votes and to cast them on the D-Day to take Matiangi to the State House? So these are some of the things that political analysts and any political thinker must also put into question and to answer them, for one to confirm that indeed Fred Matiangi is fit to tackle William Ruto head-on come 2027. Ladies and gentlemen, we can talk much until cows comes home. But what is the point of just talking if we cannot subscribe and to move on? Thank you, and may God bless you.